We live? Can you hear me? Hey guys, how are you? Happy Monday. Bear with us as I get my mic on so I can make sure you can all hear me. I know a lot of us have a lot more extra time on our hands, and I want to start talking with all of you and engaging with you and answering questions. And I just got this amazing email just the other day, and I asked Brittany, who sent me this email, if I can share this with all of you, because I know she's not the only one, and I know that all of us are on the same journey to being more self-confident. And so Brittany sent this letter in, and I'm going to read it now. Dear Jessie, I just saw your story on Snapchat, and I absolutely loved it. I lost my arm when I was 12 in a boating accident. I'm 29 now, and up until about 18, I was 100% confident with it. The last 10 years, I have become an absolute insecure, self-loathing, anxious mess. I saw in your story you had a hard time with self-acceptance as well, but have learned to overcome it and embrace it with confidence. I was wondering, at what age did you really start accepting yourself as who you are, and if you had any recommendations on how I might start down that path? I'm super independent. I also never connected with prosthetics, and I have a great educational background and job. I have a wonderful family, an immediate family, no spouse or kids, but isolate quite a bit on the social side due to my insecurities. I'd love to hear how you came to be so confident in your skin. Brittany. Thank you all for joining me. I see a couple people are on, and what a beautiful email that was from Brittany. I told her, I said, thank you so much for your honesty and, of course, being willing for me to share that with all of you in hopes of helping everyone on their own journey. And you know, confidence is something I'm still working on, and I work on it every single day. I definitely have some hard days, some easier days. It always depends. So I'm not perfect. I still am challenged with it when I go out in public places. I just remember, though, I've come a long ways from when I was a kid, because when I was about 6 years old, my mom put me in dance lessons, and at the end of the year, the dance teacher announced that we were going to have a recital in front of our family and friends. And I went home to Mom and I told her I didn't want to be a part of the dance recital because I was so insecure. I didn't want anyone staring at me or seeing me or just noticing my difference. And I told that to Mom, and I said, Mom, can you please tell my dance teacher next dance practice that I don't want to be in the recital? Well, the next dance practice came, and she spoke with Maxine, my dance teacher, and I remember seeing them in the corner of my eye talking, and somehow they convinced me to buy a dance costume anyway as a souvenir for the year of dance. And so I agreed. And then I found myself a week later behind the curtains getting ready to go out and perform. So somehow I got convinced to do that. And I was so nervous. I remember how scared I was, how terrifying it was to be there in front of so many people. And I agreed to go out on stage as long as I was put in the back row. Well, my dance teacher said there's not going to be a back row. No one should be in the back row. Everyone's going to be in one line, and you're going to stand on your star and do your best. And somehow I gathered up all my courage. My mom really helped me out, and I went out there, and all I could do was look down at my tap shoes. And for the first 3 moves, all I could do is just stare at my toes and do that the shuffle hop step, the first 3 moves of the dance. And I was just so nervous. I was so scared. I could feel the lights. They were so bright. They were so hot. I could feel them. I could feel everyone staring at me. And then I heard a round of applause, and my eyes started to lift. Another round of applause. With each new set of moves, the audience was cheering us on, and I had this just boost of confidence. And then I ran off the stage after my dance was finished, and I went into my mom's arms and said, Mom, when can I go back on stage and perform? And she had me in dance recitals every single year for 14 years. Every summer I danced, and it helped me build the confidence I needed to be able to share my life now on stage in front of thousands of people, and to be here even in front of all of you right now this afternoon in front of potentially 48,000 people and share my life. And there's a couple comments coming in here and many people commenting about that. Yes, welcome everyone. Thanks for watching. I want to share with you another example of overcoming my fear, and that was recently I had the opportunity to go to an open mic night. And an open mic night is basically anyone can go on stage and perform, anyone can go on and speak. And it's actually open mic night at a comedy club. So I went and signed up on the list of the comedians, and I remember after I signed on that piece of paper, going back to my seat and trying my best to find every excuse possible why I shouldn't go up there and deliver 5 minutes of comedy. And I just kept trying to convince myself that I could easily sneak out the back door if I wanted and find a way out of this. And aren't we all in that position at times where we try to just convince ourselves not to do it? Well, anyway, luckily my brother and my husband were there to hold me accountable. And I just remember finally going up on stage for my first 5 minutes of comedy, not knowing if anyone was going to laugh at me, if they were going to feel like it's wrong to laugh at an armless woman, or whether they were going to think it was funny or not. But I went out, delivered my comedy, and they all started to laugh, and I started to feed off the energy of the audience, and it was the longest 5 minutes ever. But once I walked off that stage, I had this boost of confidence. And Brittany, I just want to encourage you to do something that maybe scares you a little bit. Because sometimes if we do something that intimidates us, that scares us a little, at the other end of it, we're truly empowered when we know that we did it despite that intimidation, despite the fear. And we all have that in our life, but we have the choice of whether we allow it to hold us back. I wrote down something here because I remember a time when I was in middle school. And in middle school, it's tough to be different. It's really tough. I mean, all you ever want to do is just be like everyone else. You don't want to be singled out. But trying to be like everyone else when you don't have arms is impossible. So there were times when I would sit through lunch period in the cafeteria and never touch my food. I would sit through the whole period not even eating because I was so self-conscious and so concerned about what other people thought about me eating with my feet. And especially when it came to like finger foods, like tater tots, chicken nuggets, hamburgers, anything that I had to touch directly with my feet because I felt like maybe they were thinking it would be gross. So I was more concerned about other people. And I spent many of my high school years like that, many of my middle school years, all the way through until finally college. And to answer your question, Brittany, about, college and probably end of high school is when I started to have this realization that, all I can do is be the best version of myself. I don't have to worry about what other people think about me. In fact, I can't control the way the world responds to me and my difference. If they're uncomfortable with it, if they're grossed out by my feet touching food, all those things don't really matter. It just matters about who I am and how confident I am. So there was that realization that I started to have as I was progressing into adulthood, to just really not worry so much about other people, because the more I worried about what other people thought, the more attention I was drawing to myself. So it's funny that all those times, all those years of spending, wasting so much time worried about what other people think and not even eating my food at times. But Brittany, I encourage you to do something that scares you, that intimidates you. I mean, perhaps it's as simple as if you're afraid of flying, call up your local flight school and ask for a discovery flight. Of course, that's when all this virus stuff is out of the way. But do something that might scare you a little bit, and you'll see how that'll boost your confidence. In fact, I'm going to relive some of my fears right here, right now, in front of all of you, potentially 48,000 people or more, who knows. And I am going to eat a piece of pizza here with my toes. And speaking of pizza, what do you guys prefer? Do you actually, I'm going to be looking at these comments, do you fold your pizza? Do you use a fork and knife? Or do you just grab hold of that pizza and eat it? Well, I'm going to use my toes and eat a piece of pizza. For all of you, especially for Brittany, to encourage you to not let fear stand in the way of any opportunity, and do something that scares you today so that you can boost up that confidence. A little dried out, but That's what frozen pizza tastes like. Thank you for all the comments coming in from the Philippines. Someone saying you are an example. Thank you, Giuliano, for that. And someone mentioned my mom. Yes, I'm going to actually scroll down here. My mom was awesome. Yes, she is. She is and was. So thank you all. I want to remind you a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your permission. And how true that is for all of us. So do something that scares you. Build up your confidence. We're all on the same journey to being the best version of ourselves. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for the comments. In fact, if there are any other questions, shoot them over. And I will be answering them here in the couple minutes that we have. Someone just asked, how are you doing? Doing good? You're an inspiration to us all. Thank you. It says here, you are amazing. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Appreciate it. And have a wonderful week and boost up your self-confidence. Take care. Bye.